attached to you. Why are you standing
Matt
as
Camenzuli, independent candidate,
I'm a
McMahon,
bit
to take on
over it. You know, the entire political system at the moment
Bowen.
seems to be built
Black
on
out
career
Bowen.
politicians who really, aren't that interested in representing and far more interested in where they're headed next and what they're going to be doing with their future careers. And look, I think Australia's had enough of it. I certainly have as well. You know, I'm a businessman. I've been very, very blessed. I feel I can do something about it. So here I am.
Tell me, you've got around the seat of McMahon, I imagine, over the last 3 or so weeks, a lot. What's the feeling coming from the community about Chris Bowen? When you ask people, why would you want to vote for Bowen, or do you just try and ignore him?
You know, so much of the community just comes across to me and speaks to me. And I've had such a wonderful time talking to people, from places like Greystanes, where I grew up, my home, and all the way around through to St Clair and into Blacktown, Toongabbie, Fairfield. And what I've found is there's a common concern, and it is that people don't feel heard and they don't feel represented. So, that's really the problem. And we're seeing, one of the worst cost increases in just the basics that I think anyone can really remember. So, people are hurting, people are suffering, and they feel as though energy's a big part of it, and they feel as though, all of that falls at the feet of Mr. Bowen. He can't really get away from that.
As a business person, I mean, you look at your power bills, and it makes you go pale, doesn't it?
It really is insane. I mean, the power bills are going up and up and up and up. I mean, there was supposed to be a 275 cost reduction, if I remember, from the last election. And not only that, now they're giving away rebates to try and, or grants to try and, give people some relief. But it's not enough. And certainly businesses are suffering so much. I mean, I've seen power bills whilst I've been out and about from cafes and small businesses that are in the thousands of dollars. And, it's a lot of coffees, it's a lot of work to make up that extra cost. And it's putting people's jobs at risk, and people know that. And, if you lose your local job, you might have to get in the car and pay even more fuel excise to get to the next one. People are not happy and they're suffering, and everybody can see it. So, I feel as though, there's a real mood for change.
Yeah, I know Sydney well. I mean, the people who have to come in from the west to the city to work, and, it's fine for those people who can work from home in the eastern suburbs on a laptop. But if you're a tradie and you have to use the ute to get to work and back home again, 5-6 days a week, the fuel excise is a major issue. I think that's a winner for the coalition, but you think you want to take that one step further, don't you?
I do. Look, I think, if we're being really serious about giving people relief on the cost of, just getting by and getting to work, you've got to make that fuel excise a permanent cut, and you've got to cut it completely in full. Because not only is it going to hit you when you're filling up your car, but it also is an input into the cost of everything. I mean, if you think about, the people who are building houses, and every house that's built, and we are in a housing shortage, every home that's built that has so many tanks of fuel in so many utes, it's unbelievable. So it's a base input in the cost of everything, just like electricity. So if we're going to get serious about, giving people proper relief and actually getting the cost of everything down, the only way to do that is to get rid of this fuel excise. It's not even going into the roads anymore. I think it's a breach of faith with the Australian public. So, I think it's time to get rid of it, and that's what I'd strongly advocate for doing.
Well, Matt, we've got a week to go to find out how the result is. You've got a 10% gap to close, so good luck with the campaign. We'll keep a close watch on it on election night. Thanks for joining us on this Anzac Day. Now, after the break,